Hello and welcome back to HLS Crypto. My name is Dan. So today I messed up and it cost me big money back in 2021 and an exit plan on what to do. There's been a few people asking for an exit plan, a bit of a strategy, a bit of a guide on that. So we're going to go through that today. Did I have enough invested in 2021 to retire? Probably not, but I certainly would have at least been able to get out of the 9 to 5 for at least a 3-year period, in which case I would have had an opportunity to then potentially build a business and then not have to go back to the 9 to 5. And I imagine a lot of you want to, when you do finally leave the 9 to 5, the last thing you want to be doing is having to crawl back tail between your legs, because that probably won't satisfy anyone apart from the boss, basically. So this is a kind of a guide. I hope that you enjoy it. So back in 2021, the peak of the bull run, we didn't really know that we were in because we didn't understand cycles. And again, we'll touch on that in a little while. But if you were there, you'll remember the euphoria and the up-only mentality. Everywhere you looked, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere, it was Bitcoin to 100K minimum. We have so much more time to keep buying the altcoins, and we're going to be so rich. This is amazing. Then, ... You know what happened? Oh, shit. What's happening? Everything's going to zero. Now, I felt this. I know a lot of people probably felt this as well. And ultimately, it cost us, a lot of money. That was because the bull run was over and we hadn't taken any profits and actually lost a lot of money. Now, I did most things right. I DCA'd in. I was in solid projects. I got some great entry prices. Unfortunately, I got some awful entry prices as well, and I'll show you why later. So what went wrong? Well, as I've said before, crypto comes in 4-year cycles, and this is best displayed here. So you've got your 2011 4-year cycle beginning. And then 2013 is where you get your tops, 2014, 2017, 2018, 2021. Obviously, that was the one that's more pertinent to us, or me particularly, because this is when I was in. I was buying throughout here, well, more there, through here, but I continued to buy up here like an idiot, thinking that we were going to go somewhere up here. And unfortunately, we didn't. Held some, lost some money on some, sold some, and then started again in 2022, and I've been going all the way through 2023, and obviously I'm going to continue to do that till about here, because I think about here is probably where the Bitcoin halving's coming, and then we'll reassess if it's time to cease DCA, or whether there's other projects once we've built our main bags that we maybe have wanting to get into, maybe some new projects that come along that we are not aware of at this stage. And obviously in 2025 is going to be where we're going to be getting out and hopefully living the life that we all have desires to do. Whatever that looks like for you, you'll have that in your own mind. You'll know what your freedom targets are. You'll know what you want to do with the rest of your life, and you'll know, what your dreams and goals and aspirations are. I know what mine are, and I'm sure you all know what yours are. And let's hope that we can work together to achieve those. So these are categorized as bear, pre-bull, first bull, second bull. If you're buying a lot in the bear, you're buying a lot in the pre-bull, you're selling the second bull, you should automatically be doing very, very well. So here is something I've showed you on the channel before. It's a Wall Street cheat sheet. So it's kind of like where we think we are in different stages of the market. We were in depression for quite a bit. I think we're now probably in the disbelief, maybe bordering into the hope area. Now, obviously, we want to be continuing to DCA in. We want to be taking our profits, which I'll show you an exit strategy between the thrill and euphoria peaks. No one's going to time this perfectly. If you manage to sell right at the tip of euphoria, then well done. Well done. But I'll be looking to be, DCAing out or layering out between thrill and euphoria. Sometimes you get that second chance with complacency, which is kind of level with thrill. So if you do miss the peak, then maybe you can still get out there. But I would rather be taken on the way up than taken on the way down. That's for sure. But whatever gets you the most money essentially is the most important. But that's where I think we are at the moment. So I was missing 2 key ingredients to a successful investment strategy, and it would have made all the difference. If I'd had a time machine, I'd be screaming at myself to sell at the right times. Unfortunately, I do not have one of them, so I'm kind of stuck in this routine at the moment. But I'm far more confident this time. I understand what I'm doing, which is far more important. So number 1 is to plan and have an exit strategy, which we'll go through. It's super, super important. It's something I had no idea what I was going to do. Exit strategy rise back in 2021. Now I've got a much more solid idea about that. And obviously have your plan your targets, plan what you want to do. And 2 was, and I'm sure by now we can say this together, 3, 2, 1. Controlling your emotions. Yes, it's massively key. Yes, I've said this many times before, but it's very, very important. This doesn't exist for a reason. Fear and greed index. That exists because there are them two levels of the market. There's fear, extreme fear, greed, extreme greed. Once you understand that, and you can make yourself a lot more, neutral in your decision making, fear and greed won't come into it. You won't get blinded by your emotions and make irrational decisions. So back to this. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of an exit strategy here, as a lot of people have been asking me for what one looks like. So I thought we could do a couple to give you kind of an idea, but obviously this will be different for different coins, different strategies. Everyone's going to have their own idea of it. But for example, let's say you have 1,000 Trias. 20% is 200 Trias. So if you sell that at $72, it's $14,400 back. You sell $285, you get $17,000 back. 200 at $98, $19,600 back. 200 at $119 gives you $23,800 back, and 200 at $148 gives you $29,600 back. Now, this is a 5-step exit plan. If you notice the actual amount that we're taking profits at 72, at 85, we're trying to avoid the psychological round number. Now, I've said this before, human beings are conditioned. So if you're waiting, for instance, H bar to go to $1, for instance, 98 cents is where it would be a great place. 97 cents, maybe 95 cents. Some people will hold for the round number, but the round number may never come, and that's something that you've got to bear in mind. The round number is the thing that people will, the big boys will not be holding for. They'll either go just before, just after. The round number is nice, but it's not the way to go. In my opinion, I always think it's best to go just below them psychological levels. So that's an example. If you've got 100 Trias, then just knock a zero off. So 20 Trias, for instance, at $72 is $1,440 as opposed to the $14,000. But you can obviously play around with whatever numbers you want, whatever price targets you set, whatever percentages you set. You might want to do 25, 25, and then a load of 10%. You might want to hold a 5% to go to the moon. That's absolutely fine, but just have a plan. Have a plan in place. So let's say we want to do a 25% exit strategy, and we'll use quant, for example. So you've got 100 quant, 25% at 25 quant, sell at 748, 18,700 back, 25 at 890, 22,250 back, 25 at 980, 24,500 back, 25 at 1170 gives you 29,250 back. And again, you can choose, if you've got 10 quant, it'd be 2.5 quant. So you just knock a zero off and do what you have to do, strategize however you want there. But it just gives you an idea of what one would look like. Bear in mind, these prices are just a guide, and they can in fact go far higher. But I'd like to be conservative when setting an exit strategy, as I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than get caught out and majorly disappointed, because taking your profits is the most important bit. Being too greedy and holding for ludicrous price targets will end up getting you wrecked. Do you want to retire in 2025, or do you want to be wrecked? An exit strategy will be one of the key factors, along with controlling your emotions and what we do now in the run-up. They'll be key into what happens in 2025 to you. You'll either be wrecked, or you'll be able to retire and leave your job, or whatever it is that your goal is. Portfolio review. So this is something that I'll be doing once the Discord is set up and ready. But I've been asked a few times what a solid 10K portfolio looks like. So I've done like a little mock one as an example, because a lot of you guys seem to be saying that 10K is kind of the sweet spot for a lot of you, what you have in the market, which is great, as then it's only a 10X to 100K. But you can still far exceed that with one or two riskier plays in the market. I have no doubt about that. So an example of 10K spent could look something like this: 2.5K in quant, 2.5K in Casper, 1K in Trias, 1K in H bar, 1K in CSPR, 1K in Hello, 1K in Myria. Because this is a mix of projects that have all been through, some have been through a bull run, and a mix that haven't. So I think that's a solid portfolio. I think it's important to have like both. But I don't follow. But you don't have to follow this. Don't follow this exactly. Pick what you think is best based on your risk tolerance. A lot of people have their own favorite coins, their own targets, their own prices. You don't have to follow the exact coins, but the structure, and I think that's a solid portfolio. It's something that if I was starting today looking at that, I'd be kind of thinking that's not a bad portfolio. But it has to be something that's pertinent to you, something that resonates with you, and something that you feel confident being involved in. Never buy something based on what someone says. Always look and do your own research as well. As always, I wish you the very best of luck, and I'm glad we're on this journey together. It does mean a lot to me that, the comments that we get and stuff like that. I think it's brilliant. It really gives us an idea of what we're dealing with and how we're going to, attack things in the future. So I'm glad that you're all here on the journey with me. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please smash the like button. I really do appreciate it when you guys do that. Subscriber wise, going really well. We're closing in now on 1,600. So if you haven't yet, or if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Wherever you are in the world, whatever you are doing, have a great day. Have a great evening. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Goodbye.